Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J.
All right, like I said, our next guest is here, so we can bring him on. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself for me?
Sure. So I am Brad Johnston. I am co-founder and CEO of Tanoshi. We make computers for kids ages 6 to 12.
Perfect. Can you tell me a little bit more about Tanoshi and the products that you're having?
Sure. So what we do is we actually make a product that is intentionally made so it can be affordable and accessible to all children. Because as we've obviously all seen with COVID, is a big shock to a lot of people is there's a lot of low-income kids who can't afford computers or high-speed internet today. So we actually saw this about 7 years ago. We had a little foresight and developed this startup. Then took us a few years to ramp up, get our first product on the market. But we came out with a 2-in-1 computer. It's a 10-inch tablet plus detachable keyboard, great parental controls, learn to code apps preloaded, all sorts of cool stuff, under $200. Showed it on Shark Tank last year. And things are blowing up, and we're just super excited because we're making, distance learning, the homework, we're closing the homework gap, and we're making it the opportunity possible for every child to learn to code. So we're stoked about that.
Definitely. And I love how humble you are. You just throw in Shark Tank right at the end there. I know if it were me, I would be like, hi, I was on Shark Tank.
Yeah, we get asked the question a lot. I mean, it was a great experience. And we were actually doing pretty well prior to Shark Tank. So it just blew us up to the next level, which we're super excited about, especially because now, more consumers are aware of our product than ever before who might have been looking for that affordable modern day computer who didn't know it existed. And now they know it does, and they can go find us.
Definitely. So what kind of reassurance would you give parents that go and look at your products? What kind of reassurance would they have for their child?
Reassurance? So
yeah,
I'm so sorry. No, that's fine. So with our products, I mean, I can grab one for you. I got one sitting over my shoulder. This is our new product. The Scholar just came out. So again, it's a 10-inch tablet with detachable keyboard. This one's actually pretty durable too. So you could drop it on the ground. It's going to survive. Really, the thing that parents love the most about the device we made versus kind of what's just out there in the public today is we actually put parental controls on it that are age appropriate for kids ages 6 to 12. So that mom and dad from their smartphone can see what activities you have on your device. But at the end of the day, it's not really like a little kid walled garden. It still lets the child explore the internet, explore whatever. And mom and dad can just kind of supervise their activities, kind of like going from a tricycle to a bicycle with training wheels to a full-size bike. A lot of kids aren't ready to go straight from the tricycle to the full-size bike. They need the training wheels. And really, that's what we provide.
Awesome. And with everything being virtual today, like you mentioned, and like we're doing right now, how can this product help kids that are, going to school for the first time and it just happens to be virtual?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, so let me take a step back on that one. So if you have a high-speed internet at home, pretty much any device will do for you because pretty much every computer or tablet nowadays connects to the internet. Unfortunately, there's a lot of kids who still don't have that. So we tried to bridge the best of both worlds, give them that virtual experience. So we do have the high-speed internet connection. So at home, you can plug in, or at McDonald's or the library or school. But with our device, what makes it unique and special is actually if you're, say, a low-income neighborhood, or maybe you're in the countryside, like I happen to be, where there's not much high-speed internet connection out there, you could still download your homework at school, take it home, work offline, do all your homework, and then the next time you're at a Wi-Fi hotspot, upload it, and you're good to go, and you're keeping up with your classmates.
That's awesome. And are there any other customizations that any kids can see when they go to purchase this product with their parents? We actually try to keep the customizations kind of as hidden as possible. Mm-hmm.
what we want is, and what we discovered as we were developing this product over the years, was that children don't want kids products. Children want teen products. You know, everyone wants to level up, right? So think back in the day when you were in elementary school, you looked after the people who were in middle school. You know, you're in middle school, and then you want to watch Saved by the Bell and see the kids who are in high school. You know, then you're in college. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get on to college now. I got to graduate. I got to get a job. Everything looks better in the future, right?
Yeah.
So we developed the product exactly like that. When a child uses it, they're going to feel just like their teenage brother and sister, mom and dad, same experience. But under the hood, where we customized it, that's where mom and dad know that, for example, if the child goes on the internet and looks up porn, they're not going to find any naked pictures. They might find a story about the history of porn for their homework assignment, but we try as hard as we can to block out all the stuff that they should not be finding.
That's a good thing. So if a parent, I can imagine that if you have a 6-year-old, you would be very concerned with buying, any kind of computer for your kid, because I know me as a kid, I knew that I dropped everything. I spilled stuff all over the place. So buying, any kind of tech for your child can be a little bit scary. How can this product help with that?
No, it's a great point. And to be honest, with the first product we made, the original Tanoshi 2-in-1, which was on Shark Tank, that one was not the most durable product of all time. Our focus there was bring the cost down, get it under $200, get it so that everyone can have a computer. We did hear from some parents who said, my child dropped it down the stairs or whatever it was, and then they got a crack and they're like, oh, isn't this a kid's product? Isn't it supposed to be fine? And I'm just like, well, we could build that in, but we got to build a little more durability. And I hate to tell you this, but there's cost associated with that, right? But we heard enough of it from customers that we found there was actually a pretty good split between the folks who, price was the most important part, and those who said, I'll pay a little bit more for durability. So with that, we developed the Scholar, this new product. It's hard to tell from the camera, I apologize. But it's actually built to be about 2.5 feet drop proof, water splash proof, and dirt proof. So I can throw it over here. I'll go grab it in a second. And
wow.
What you're going to see is not a scratch. So it's just at the end of the day, we had parents who said, that's the most important thing to me. And for them, the new product for them is now available on the market. For the other parents who say, that extra $100 goes out of my budget, but $200 still mine. And by the way, on our website, we also make it even more affordable. You can buy on monthly installment plans. So if you want to pay only $50 a month, we make that possible too. So what we're doing is we're listening to the customer, where they're telling us what's important to them pre-COVID, during COVID, what's probably going to be important post-COVID. And, we're building all that functionality in so that it's whatever's the awesome experience for them, we want to make sure that's what they have.
Definitely. And naturally, things evolve over time. So, things are going to get bigger and better as time goes on with your company. So I think this evolution, people shouldn't be afraid of change for that.
Yeah, and we hope they don't. In fact, amongst other things, we're following very closely what's going on in Washington, D.C. and big tech, right? I mean, that's kind of in the story in the news today. A lot of our product is already built in with a lot of that privacy and security functionality that adults are saying they want, right? To us, that's not an afterthought. That's not something we do for government compliance. We do it because that's what our customers want. So we focus on that. So in many ways, I like to tell people we are the new tech. We're doing tech the right way. Amongst other things, we have a very diverse team. You're not going to find that much in Silicon Valley. I'm sorry, but it's just true. I live up in Portland, Oregon now. I was in Silicon Valley for the last 3 years, and it was about as polarizing as it can possibly be. It's pretty sad down there. I love it. A lot of really smart people, but not quite as diverse as it needs to be. With us, our focus from day one was on girls. So I maybe didn't even throw this part out at you, but we were looking at, where there are gaps in opportunity in our education market. And what we saw was back in the 80s, 30% of all computer scientists were women. And then in the early 2000s, it dropped down to like 24%. And we're like, whoa, that's going in the wrong direction, right? So we actually designed the original 2-in-1 to appeal to little girls. And what we found was about 65% of our users were girls. So that was super exciting. So they were getting our device, they were taking it home. And of course, what does a kid do? They go play with every app that's on the device, right? Well, some of the apps we have preloaded, teach you all the basic fundamentals of coding. So,
Awesome.
a lot of parents, even in Silicon Valley, I used to volunteer at coding schools down there, said, I want my kid to learn how to code. I don't know where to start. And I'm like, you're an engineer. You're an engineer in Silicon Valley. How do you not know where your child needs to start? And then it got me thinking, what about the rest of the world? No way they're going to know where to start, right? So we made the starter package for them. Out of the box, no need to go download a bunch of stuff. No need to do a bunch of research. No need to spend all weekend setting it up. You spend maybe 10 minutes, which is mostly just the parental control setup piece. You get that part set up, you hand it off to your child, and boom. Mom and dad can now get back to their lives and know their child is safe and they're learning. I
love that pre-built feature. I mean, I am a software engineer myself, so that definitely resonates with me and trying to get young girls interested in coding and just technology in general. I mean, that's really awesome. So I love that feature.
Thank you. And and going forward, what you're going to see from us, talking about the future, we are at CES, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going forward, what you're going to see from us is we're now started to partner with more and more app developers who are developing apps for others underrepresented in the tech industry. So beyond just women, also Black, Brown, Indigenous, folks that, again, represent a very small portion of the computer scientist, workforce, the STEM workforce out there, and a much larger percentage of the population. Like I think today, something like 8% of all computer scientists, professionals are Black or Brown, and yet they represent over 30% of the population.
Exactly.
So way underskewed, right? Way underskewed. So really the gender gap and that gap, I mean, that's our focus. But just to make it clear, this is a great product for everyone. For everyone. So any parent, and according to our research, 95% of parents want a product like ours that they just don't have to worry about. There are the 5% of geeky people who just want to do everything. But the other 95%, they just want everything to work out of the box. And that's who we developed it for. So you might have money, you might be poor, you might be Black, you might be brown, you might be white. It doesn't matter. Everyone can learn on a Tanoshi.
Yeah, everyone definitely can. And it's definitely a more affordable price. So can you, again, say the price point for everyone?
Sure. So the original Tanoshi 2-in-1 is $199. And then for those looking for a little more durability, plus some extra features, like we put in a little sliding webcam cover here. So, even if someone hacks into your device, it's physical. They're not going to see what's going on.
And it's drop proof. You just showed that.
Yeah. You saw it was drop proof. Yeah. So, I mean, this thing's actually gotten down the stairs a couple of times just for tests. It's been fun.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, so the original is $199. The one that's a little more beefy, $299. Pretty much identical functionality, very, very close. And the best part about both of them is, again, online, offline, in the car, at home, at school, wherever you are, we give you the opportunity to learn. And I'll throw in one last thing for the parents that are concerned about screen time. I know it's kind of going away in the last year because of COVID, but it's probably going to be coming back. We do have screen time limits built in that are just one click away for the parent to set up and say, hey, you're only getting maybe 3 hours a day on your device.
Perfect. And if for anyone who wants to find out more information about your company and maybe wants to reach out to you, where can they go and how can they find out more information?
Perfect. So the easiest and best place to go is just go to our website, tanoshi.com. So www.tanoshi.com. And for anyone that maybe knows a little bit Japanese and goes, what does that word mean? That sounds familiar. Tanoshi is actually the Japanese word for fun, F-U-N. So we picked the name Tanoshi because we want to make learning fun for every child.
I saw that in your Shark Tank clip. I looked it up this morning.
Oh, really?
So I definitely saw you're like, that's why we're called Tanoshi.
Yeah. I mean, that's been our goal from day one. Number one goal was to make sure nobody is left behind. Everybody's on a fast track. And a lot of it was personal because of me. I grew up in poverty myself. So I saw what it was like for rich kids to have access to things I didn't have access to. And then spend the next 20 years of my life just trying to claw to catch up, right? And I'm like, that's awful. People shouldn't get left behind just because the family next door has more money than you do, right? That's not what our education system was built to be. Unfortunately, our education system is very budget driven, as we've all seen over the last 4, 8, 20, 50, 100 years. It's some school districts have access and money, others don't. For those that don't, we're there to help out. And for those that do, we're also there. We give you a better option where you can actually save costs so you can maybe look at other programs you can get involved with as well.
Yeah, you're there to level the playing fields for everyone.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Brad, for coming on the show and talking about Tanoshi.
Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining our CES 2021 coverage.
Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed that interview, and if you did, make sure you check out some of the more than 100 interviews we conducted during the virtual CES 2021 coverage. And of course, subscribe here on YouTube, hit the notification bell to learn when we post new content and when we go live.